Before you go any further, I want you to picture someone you quietly admire. Not the loudest person in the room, not the one chasing attention, but the one who moves through life with a calm, grounded confidence. The kind that makes you wonder, what do they know that I don't? Most people think wisdom comes from age or intelligence, but the truth is, wisdom shows up in the choices you avoid, not the ones you chase. And once you understand these 5 actions wise people never touch, you start seeing the world differently, and you start behaving differently. Let's start with something that happens to everyone. A while back, a man named Ethan shared a story with me. He said he used to fight every battle. Someone questioned his decision, he argued. Someone misunderstood him, he explained for hours. Someone made a rude comment online, he wrote an essay back. He thought defending himself meant strength. Then one day, while leaving a coffee shop, he overheard 2 people talking about him, completely wrong things. And as he stepped forward to correct them, he saw an older man at the next table shake his head gently, as if saying, "Don't waste your breath." For the first time, Ethan walked away, and later he realized nothing bad happened. The world didn't fall apart. He actually felt lighter. That was the day he learned the first thing wise people always avoid: trying to win meaningless fights. Wise people know that if someone is determined to misunderstand you, they will. So they save their energy for the battles that actually build something: peace, growth, or purpose, not opinions that dissolve in a week. Here's the second thing. There's a woman named Claire who used to apologize for everything. If someone didn't text back, she blamed herself. If someone was rude, she wondered what she did wrong. If people drifted away, she assumed she wasn't enough. One evening, her grandmother asked her a simple question: "Why do you take responsibility for storms you didn't create?" That line hit her so deeply she stopped talking mid-sentence. Because wise people avoid absorbing guilt that isn't theirs. They know carrying other people's emotional baggage only slows you down. They return responsibility to where it belongs, even if it feels uncomfortable. And they understand that sometimes people distance themselves not because of you, but because of their own battles. The third action wise people avoid is something subtle, but it controls more lives than people realize. Chasing people who only give effort when it's convenient. There's a story about a guy named Jacob who kept trying to impress a group of friends who barely cared. He existed. He would show up for them, support them, drive across town when they needed help. But when he needed the same in return, everyone suddenly became busy. One day he asked himself, "Why am I working so hard for people who wouldn't notice if I disappeared?" And that moment changed his entire life. Wise people avoid forcing connections. They don't chase people who keep them as emotional backups. They invest in relationships where the energy flows both ways, and they let everyone else drift naturally out of their world. Now here's something people rarely admit, but it's powerful. Wise people avoid speaking when the emotion is too loud. Anger, jealousy, fear, insecurity, those emotions turn your mouth into a weapon. There's a story of a quiet dad who told his son, "Never talk from the wound, talk from the scar." And that line carries a lifetime of meaning. When you speak from the wound, you say things you don't mean, things that break trust, things that turn small problems into permanent damage. Wise people give themselves time to calm down, sort the feeling, understand it, then respond. Not react, respond. Big difference. And now the fifth action wise people always avoid. It might be the hardest one. They avoid betraying themselves for acceptance. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl named Maya who changed herself for everybody. She softened her opinions so her friends wouldn't disagree. She hid her ambitions so her partner wouldn't feel insecure. She pretended she was low maintenance so people would like her more. Then one day she realized every room she walked into required her to leave pieces of herself at the door. She was accepted everywhere, but she belonged nowhere. Wise people refuse to shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They know that losing people is easier than losing yourself. And they know that anyone who only likes the edited version of you is not meant to be part of your life long term. Now here's the funny thing about wisdom. It doesn't make your life easier overnight, but it does make your life clearer. You stop wasting energy on people who misunderstand you on purpose. You stop carrying guilt for storms you didn't cause. You stop chasing people who treat you like a backup. You stop reacting from pain instead of clarity. And you stop betraying yourself just to be accepted. Instead, you move in a quiet, grounded way that feels calm but powerful, the way truly wise people do. So here's the question to ask yourself today. Which one of these 5 actions do you need to let go of first? Because once you drop even one of them, your entire life feels different.